All right, here we go. Mob James, welcome
Once
back
again.
to Vlad TV.
All the time, once again.
Yeah. You all red today, I see?
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I just threw this shit on, man.
The red V hat and everything with the matching pants? All
Yeah.
right, I see you. Well, a lot going on in LA right now. And the Big U Rolling 60s RICO case is definitely at the top of that list. Number one, do you know Big U?
Yeah, we met.
Okay.
Never hung out together. Me and Big U actually crossed paths when Big U was on your show and saying that the Pyrus wouldn't have been able to move the way they was if he was on the street.
Right, because he was locked up during that time.
Yeah, and I did.
And he's talking about the death row era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we crossed paths.
Right.
And we had the conversation on Gangsta Chronicles.
Right.
You know, I really wanted to know what he meant by we wouldn't have been able to move. You know what I'm saying?
And how did he address that? 'Cause, I mean, it was a friendly conversation.
Yeah, it was friendly. It was cool. He was just like I pretty much took it out of context that Suge wouldn't have been doing it the way he would have been doing it. And me basically telling him, you know, we ready for anything at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we swept it under the rug. He clarified it, and we was good.
Okay, well, when these charges came down, were you surprised?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not really surprised because I heard Wack100, Loose Cannon. I heard all them dudes' conversation. And the way they were talking, I knew something was bound to happen. It seemed like they played it all the way up until that point. And they was just talking too loosely for me. And yeah, it was bound to happen.
So you're saying Wack100 and Loose Cannon are the reason why Big U
I'm not
was
saying
indicted?
that.
'Cause that's a jump right there to say that.
No, well, what I'm saying is the way people was talking, not only Wack, not only Loose Cannon, but the way they were talking on No Jumper, it was like, you know, it's some things you shouldn't say. And they were saying things that led up to this, that, and the other. And I couldn't say shit. All I was just like, wow. And when it came out, no, I wasn't surprised about it. I wasn't surprised at all. Social media played a big part in this. Not just those guys. Social media itself.
Yeah, the charges are crazy. It's a 43 count indictment. RICO, 2 counts of conspiracy to interfere with commerce by robbery and extortion, Hobbs Act, 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery, 9 counts of attempted Hobbs Act extortion, 5 counts of Hobbs Act extortion. There's a prostitution charge and interstate commerce for the intent of prostitution, 15 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of embezzlement of public funds, bank fraud, tax evasion, willful failure to file tax evasion. And then, this is the weird part. Me and Wack talked about this the other day. When you look at the official press release from the feds, they do mention this 2021 murder.
Right.
Of this artist named R.W., but it doesn't seem to be in the paperwork of the indictment. Wack is saying he thinks there's going to be a state case with Nevada because the murder happened there. But I don't know how familiar you are with this whole situation, but it seems it doesn't quite fit in the story. Because
it fits. It fits.
Okay, because they're saying this artist, R.W., who was signed to Big U, made a diss song about him.
Right.
And Big U went and killed him and dumped his body in the desert.
Well, from what they're saying is pretty much Big U got a history of eliminating people, allegedly, that don't agree with him and the way he conducts his business. A lot of people, Big U got a lot of people hating on him right now. A lot of people are coming out speaking on him. This is what is convicting him. Do I feel sorry for him? You really can't feel sorry for him but he's not the only one out there that's, living a life. The RW, the young dude, fucked up. If it went down that way, it's fucked up. I said it once before. When you're out here representing the gang and the hood and all this other shit, I believe civilian people are off limits. You don't just go kill a motherfucker because he feel a certain kind of way about you. And hearing the stories, it kind of fit. Hearing the story, allegedly his son was whoop-de-whoop with the football, the other
Yeah,
boy.
now I heard about that. We talked about this. This was a rumor that this guy RW was having a gay relationship with one of Big U's sons.
Yeah.
If that's the case, why would you shoot the boyfriend? He'll just go get another boyfriend if that's the case. Unless this is some older dude and the son is underage, which he was not.
Yeah.
I don't really see that as a reason. It
But
doesn't
what
make
if
sense.
you as a father is trying to do the best for your son and then find out that he's this kind of way with boys? I'm gonna kick your ass and I'm gonna get rid of the boyfriend. But do you go to the extreme and kill him?
What is getting rid of the boyfriend going to do? If your son is, if your son is a willing participant, he'll get another boyfriend.
I'm still
You gonna keep killing all his boyfriends? Is that the plan?
I'm still a proud father, and I
Man,
don't
listen,
want
you're
my
a proud
son
father,
to be.
but look, you have kids, and kids are gonna do what? Did your daughter go and do everything you had hoped that she would do, and
No.
went down the path and listened to you, and you had control to influence her actions? No, she did what she was gonna do. Right?
That's
your
true.
son is gonna do what. Listen, we all have friends who have gay kids.
Well, I
It
tried
just
to put
is what it
myself
is.
in his shoes, Vlad, and me personally, I wouldn't have did. It wouldn't have went to the extreme, and that's why it's hard for me to say that ain't the reason. But why are people putting it out there like that? That can hurt his son's career, everything.
Yeah, people also are putting out that Big U had Nipsey set up. That he knew that Eric Holder was going to kill him and he let it happen. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I'm not gonna get into crip politics like that, but you got to remember, I ran with Suge for a minute, and all of that, the shit that's playing now with these guys, we did it at Death Row. You know what I'm saying? You had people come on there like what's his name? Not Fat Boy, but the dude from New York. Not Big. What's his name?
Gene Deal?
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
Say he sat there and watched Death Row come in and take jury off of every motherfucker that was walking through the door. It's the shit people say that get you caught up. And that's where Big U at right now. Now, do I think he a monster by himself? No. He didn't do all that shit by himself. So I think it's a whole lot of shit that's about to come out because of Big U's situation.
Well, look, me and Big U have always been cool. The
Right.
interview you talked about was our first interview. Very respectful. It was cool. We exchanged numbers. We kept in touch. We called each other a couple times a year just to chop it up. Now, I remember Wack was like, people are saying that Vlad is being pressured to speak about Big U a certain type of way. And I'm like, I haven't spoken to Big U.
Right.
Since those ridiculous Nipsey allegations, which was maybe, 6 months ago or something, 8 months ago. But me and Big U are cool, so I'm not going to switch up and start acting a different type of way because he got locked up.
Right.
If me and you are cool and you get locked up, I'm not going to start trashing you.
Well,
The relationship is where it was, as far
Right.
as I'm concerned. And ultimately what he's going through. He turned himself in, and he's dealing with it. Do you find it interesting that he mentioned Wack100 in that last video?
no, I don't find. I knew he was. And at the end of the day, everybody that what you call him should be worried. That's around him should be worried. I know Big U sitting in there mad as a motherfucker, pissed off by a lot of shit, a lot of conversations he done had with certain individuals about some of the shit that he's done with certain individuals. So he got a lot of shit to think about sitting in that cell, which he going crazy right now.
Yeah, you add up all these charges, you're looking at life in prison. I mean, the bank fraud alone is 30 years. The RICO is 20 years. The Mann Act, each of those is 10 years. Tax evasion, another 5 years. It's a lot, especially for a guy in his 50s at this point.
I think he's 58, 59. Yeah, that's a long 40 years.
58 years
You're
old.
over.
Yeah, you get 20.
It's over.
You might as well just say you're gonna spend your last days
One
here.
thing about this game is when they mad at you, they gonna come at you. And, you know, I listen to them dudes, how they talk. Loose Cannon, how he talk and say a lot of things about events that happened already. And it seemed like they just continue to talk and talk and talk, like building something. And now it's at a point where they ain't had no choice but to get this man. And they've been on him for a minute. So him not knowing, talking on these damn phones, speaking on these interviews, and then these guys coming back and saying shit which they don't even realize they implementing themselves in the majority of all this shit.
Well, part of what he's being charged for is extortion. And I guess he was extorting. Well, they're saying that he was extorting like these local vendors,
Right.
you know, who are, I guess, illegal themselves. But what are your thoughts on that?
If they didn't complain about it, then what the hell? You know what I'm saying? If they not crying about it and they continue to pay over these years, why is anybody else concerned about some of the shit that Big U was doing? Big U ain't the only Big U in L.A., Compton, or Linwood, or nowhere. He ain't the only one out there living that life. You know what I'm saying? So I used to say this. When you're on the street corner selling drugs, you only last as long as you good with all the smokers, and the smokers can come and get. When you start beating them up, you start going to jail. The smokers gonna give you up. And that's all that's happening on the streets right now, especially with him. You know, he got a lot of enemies. A lot of people don't like Big U. And not only because they're afraid of him, and they had to get rid of him. They had to. Half of the shit that I heard that we can't even call them, the people he ran into on the street were petrified of him. He had to go.
Yeah, it's too bad, man. Like I said, I've only had positive experiences with Big U.
Right.
And, you know, I don't know anything about this extortion thing because Big U could have been like, listen, you're in LA now. You're in my backyard. You're interviewing all these rappers, all these Crips. You know, break me off a little something, you know, whatever. Start putting my artists on. None of that ever at all.
Right.
Whatsoever.
Well, we know who to deal with when we're in the streets. And all of the things that they bringing up on Big U, like I said, dealing with Suge and in the streets, moving around, a lot of people in the industry was afraid of him. You know what I'm saying? Until they find a way to get rid of a Suge Knight, and all of these guys is coming right behind that and living that life.
He didn't strike me as a Suge Knight kind of person, though, honestly.
Well, he was more low-key than a Suge Knight.
I didn't get that impression. Like, I don't know what happens behind the scenes. Like like you said, you know, I'm sure he knew that if you try to extort someone like myself, I'd probably just go to the police.
Right.
And I'd be like, listen, I'm not dealing with this.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to run a regular business. I'm paying, you know, I pay taxes. Like, I'm running, I have payroll. I'm not trying to do all this extra.
Most of the rich
stuff.
people out here, them Beverly Hills people, they don't want the problems, so they give it up. Half of these young dudes out here rapping are rapping their life but never lived it.
Yeah.
So when it come to them, they scared. They give it up.
Yeah, no, I've heard of situations, not specifically with Big U, but guys who get into it and they go to whoever the OG is in LA, whatever, like, hey, help me out. But that just opens you up to new level of extortion, because then that guy can call up the guy who's harassing you, and the two of them could kind of.
Why would it be extortion if just let's say you got a lot of cats coming to Compton looking for the OGs in the hood to represent them when they come to the city. You got people, gang members, going out of town, you know, doing concerts as bodyguards. They come and get you for those reasons. So why would they put the word extortion on something that you asked for?
Right.
It don't make sense.
Right. I'm saying, but it could evolve into that. This is why I've always steered clear of going to people like a Big U or a Wack or whatever other street guys I have affiliations with, or you or whoever else, to ever handle a problem for me.
Right.
If I have a problem, like me and Wack didn't get along for 10 years. Have I ever gone to you and say, hey man, help me handle this problem?
No.
No. I said, I'll get my own security and I'll deal with it. And if we run into each other, I guess we'll see what happens.
Right.
You know, I'll be prepared for that situation because I go to events with security.
Well, see, you one out of many that'll deal with it that way. Most people prefer to just pay it, walk away, and when I see you, here, and we good. That's why they continue to keep getting money from you. It ain't a one-time deal. It's through their whole career. And the majority of these guys you see are gang members behind the scene protecting this person and the other.
Yeah, because I think there's certain people, like certain rappers in particular, they're doing drugs. They are doing other stuff that they don't want actual police security to see.
Right.
So they go and get these guys who might even facilitate certain things for them.
Same way with Suge Knight. Suge Knight wasn't a thug when we first started. Suge, we implemented the hood into his daily business. And he became one of us. He wanted to be one of us. So this is what I'm saying. If people ain't learned from behind Suge, then you ain't gonna get it. We started this shit with gang members. And every time we went to a concert or behind backstage, people were afraid of that. Regular people are scared of gang members. You got people grabbing their purse, putting their shit up under their shirt. They scared of gang members. Intimidation is a motherfucker. And that's what a lot of us did, intimidate people. We got what we wanted. So they're using the word extortion. No, you're giving it up free will. How in the hell you can extort a shack?
Right.
You're the biggest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah, they always refer to this Chris Brown video. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's Big U and Chris Brown. And he's like, yeah, Chris Brown donated 500 sneakers. And he's going to donate 500 more. They're like, oh, look at Chris Brown's face. He wasn't prepared for the 500 more. But I'm looking at it going like, man, you guys are just playing this up. Chris Brown looks like he's fine. You know,
and Chris Brown can go to Fruitown if he thought Big U was being a problem to him. We got a homie in the hood, I don't want to mention his name, that's straight with it. Probably know Big U. So people are taking videos and say, look how his face look. Look at, he getting him too. Come on, it's only certain individuals that man was fucking with. He ain't extorting everybody that come in contact with him.
No.
And like I said, social media, so many things that's coming up on Big U, everybody see it. The police is seeing it. The police is watching this shit. The police is watching the videos. You in a no-win situation. Social media ain't finna lose. And Big U is where he at now, 60% up.
Keefe D. So, in the process of Keefe D trying to get his case thrown out, he himself submitted 2 different documents where he was cooperating in 1998 and 1999. And your name was specifically mentioned in one of those documents.
What'd I do?
According to him, you're one of the people that worked for Reggie Wright's operation. So, according to Keefe, when Suge went to jail, Reggie Wright Jr. took over the whole North Compton operation. And people that worked for him were your brother Buntree, Trayvon Lane, a guy named Flip, and yourself.
Doing dope?
Dealing.
Everybody in Compton know Mob James was not a dealer.
What did you think? Did you read this paperwork, by the
No,
way?
you just telling me this.
Really?
And Reggie, I'm gonna call Reggie after this and ask him why. No, Reggie mentioned that something like that before, but not that I was a dealer for working for Reggie.
Okay, so here's an excerpt where your name starts to get mentioned. Keefe Davis also advised that the word on the street is that Compton Police Department officers commit murders for night. Specifically, Davis has heard that Compton police officers killed Bruce Richardson approximately 2 years ago. Richardson was a dealer who owned a car wash on 52nd and Crenshaw. Richardson had gotten into a fight with Knight and beaten Knight up shortly before he was murdered. Do you know about the situation?
Yeah, I heard about it, yeah.
Okay. Concerning the current organization run by Reggie Wright Jr., one of the distribution locations is the Untouchables Auto Shop located on Alondra in Washington and Compton. The shop is owned by Melvin Hurd. Hurd, G-Ray, and Jim distribute from the shop. Individuals who work for Reggie Wright Jr. assisting in the distribution include Mob James, a member of the Mob Piru street gang who is approximately 30 years old. Flip, who distributes from a shop located on Compton Boulevard in Harris. Bump Tree, they named it, I guess it's Bunt Tree, a member of the Mob Piru street gang. Trayvon Lane, a member of the Mob Piru street gang, and Kevin Woods. There you go. You're being named as a dealer who works under Reggie Wright's empire.
Now, Keefe D, you telling on me? No, but look, God damn. Everybody know, where did he get this information? And I ain't even worried about, if he says some shit like that, he really lost his mind. I'm not worried about it. I never worked with Reggie on that level. When I left Death Row and started doing Let Me Ride, after Let Me Ride, I moved to Vegas. Never dealt with Reggie on that level, and why did Reggie have to deal dope when he got the whole goddamn Death Row in his hand? Why the fuck would he be a dope dealer? So KPD got to make that make sense. Nigga, don't throw the hounds off your ass and put them on somebody else. I don't got nothing to do with that.
Well, this is from 1998, 2 years after Tupac got killed.
Yeah, and I didn't deal with Suge. When Tupac died, it was all, we already had our internal bullshit going on already. So with the homeboys and people losing their lives. I'm talking about the homeboys. So 1998 and all this other shit, KPD need to get a different time frame. Wasn't nobody living like that at that time.
What did you think about Reggie Wright being accused of killing Tupac?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you take the money out of your pocket? Why would you kill Tupac and then everything is over with? And this is what people are failing to realize. Tupac and Biggie, Suge and Puppy created a gang war, not a music industry war. They created a war between two gangs in Compton. And these neighborhoods was going at it because of these individuals. And everybody, like myself, believing that this is what it is. We gonna fight for our side and they fought for their side. They was employed with them. Everybody already knew Suge had the homies employed. So automatically it was a crash. That's all that was, with no more, with no white people hiding in the bushes shit, with no people with a suitcase full of money waiting when Biggie died, here go your money type of shit. That was just straight gangbanging shit. All gangbanging shit. So, you know, people just need to quit and just look at it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no more, no less. And these two individuals could have squashed the shit way before. You know, Big Jake didn't have to die. Benson, Buntry, none of these cats had to die. None of us.
What exactly happened to Big Jake? Like, this seems to be kind of a fuzzy story. Was anyone actually convicted of the murder of Big Jake?
No, the person that's supposed to kill Big Jake is dead now.
Who was that?
Wolf.
A wolf killed Big Jake.
This
Oh,
is-
okay,
this-
that's why. Okay,
this
you're right.
is when
There
it
we
came
go.
to the hood.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
what was said.
Got it.
So when Suge came to the hood, Suge didn't really want to say nothing, but some of the homies had links in New York. New people, and people was telling certain people certain shit. So you don't just believe everything you hear. And when they say when Jake was shot, Suge was behind him. Ain't that a bitch? So Big Jake got killed. Okay, if Big Jake got killed, and motherfuckers get mad at me all day about it, but I don't give a fuck. Big Jake get killed, Suge come home. He come home. Tupac get killed. He get a piece of metal hit his head. Come on, man, gangbangers know if I'm shooting direct in that windshield, in the window, everybody gonna get hit. The majority of them gonna get hit. You got fatalities, but you ain't got that. Even Suge, he need to shut the fuck up before people start telling the damn truth. So after Big Jake, he come with this sob story with no retaliation, with no getting back, and whoop whoop whoop. Now the fear is in him, behind Diddy. Diddy ain't scared of him no more. And y'all know, everybody that was scared of Suge, that ain't scared of Suge because this person and that person is gone, Suge started getting slapped, drinks poured in his face, niggas spitting on him, shooting at him. He got knocked out. All kind of shit started happening to him because he don't have that backing behind him. All kind of shit started happening. So it kills me when people say free Suge. For what? Free him for what?
Well, Suge tried to free himself, but it was thrown out. That whole 28-year thing that he tried to reverse got thrown out.
Oh, he can't. He shouldn't want to come home until his time is up. You know, and that's the life of a new gangster now is getting 30 years and passing out. The new life of a gangster is talking on social media and telling everybody he committed this murder and all this other bullshit.
Do you think just at some point, though, Suge's going to wake up and say, man, I am tired of this jail cell. I'm getting older. I'm not in good health. Screw all these imaginary rules that are in my head and me being looked at a certain type of way. I'm going to go tell on everybody and get out of this jail cell.
No. Suge Knight is being Suge Knight. That's why he's talking recklessly now. Suge never talked like that. Whether he hated Snoop Dogg or anybody else, Suge talking about everybody. And half of this shit, if you can't tell when a man lying, I'd turn that shit off.
Well, has Las Vegas PD contacted you about the Keefe case?
A long time ago, about 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, they tried to contact me too about the raw footage, and I just ignored all their calls.
I told them and I told Reggie, y'all subpoena me or try to subpoena me. If I look in that peephole and see anything lighter than me, I'm not opening the door. I got a grandson to raise. And I'm not, motherfuckers already talking now, I'm not finna go and put his life in danger behind nothing. So come subpoena me if you want to. Y'all had to take me to jail. No, y'all paid me to come up here and talk. Y'all gave me this, that, and the other. That's what that would be. I don't have nothing to do with Keefe D. He get life, he get life. I have nothing against his son, his wife Paula. It is what it is. But Keefe D talking like that, fuck Keefe D. I don't care if he get life or not. If he come home, I don't give a fuck.
Well, Keefe D claims he was never in Las Vegas, but I believe in a Vlad TV interview, you said you were at Club 662 and you saw a car pull up with Keefe D in it, along with Orlando and two other guys. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now we at the MGM.
Right, for the Mike Tyson fight.
Exactly.
Were you in Vegas? Yeah, you
Yeah,
were
I
in
ran
Vegas.
662. I was running the club at the time.
Right.
Reggie Wright was there, but I was doing the door and all of that.
Right, and your brother Buntry was there as well.
Buntry was at the fight.
Yeah.
He went to the fight with him. We already knew it was finna happen, that they was coming to Vegas, the whole nine. And then when they came, they pulled up in front of 662. I alerted a bunch of them and told them that Keefe D and them out here, the South Sides is out here. And they drove off.
And this was right after Tupac was killed.
Wait,
And
he pulled up to Club 662 after?
no, the night of,
Yeah.
they pulled up. When they pulled up, and I'm only speaking on it because they ain't coming to get me. They pulled up by the bus stop. 662 is sitting right here. The bus stop is right here where the driveway at. The Cadillac pulled up right there, stopped. I know who it is. He said they was gonna go in the parking lot. If he'd have went in the parking lot, he wouldn't have never came out that motherfucker. I know that much. But, man, whatever he need to do to fix him and try to get out of jail, I applaud him. Fuck it. They're not gonna use me to lock him up. You know what I'm saying? So they could take the video from what I said years ago, and you were seen in Vegas. So all that lying and bullshit, he need a better defense, because that one ain't gonna work.
Yeah, he said he was never in Vegas, but then they find a hotel booking under his wife's name in Vegas on that same date. So, you know. Now, isn't Keefe D's wife and your kid's mother friends?
They were best friends at the
They were best friends.
Yeah.
That's
they
crazy.
both lived on California Street, right across the street from each other. And when my daughter lived with her, I used to go pick my daughter up. Those guys never said nothing to me. I never disrespected them, you know. And I'm in my Cadillac, music, Dayton's, rims, the whole nine.
Okay,
knew
but
who I
after the
was.
Tupac murder,
After the Tupac murder,
I'm
it
sure you weren't
was
going by there all that often anymore.
not to pick up my daughter.
Right.
No, but it was too heated to be riding through their neighborhood, especially in your own car. So that would have been stupid. But
Now, didn't Suge say that he lived in a Southside Crip area at one point?
that who did?
Suge.
He said, I did?
He did.
I don't know if Suge lived in no Southside neighborhood. He lying.
Okay.
From his mama house, he moved to Vegas. He went to college in Vegas, and then when I got out of prison in '88, he popped up on my door. So I ain't never known him to live in no Southside hood.
Okay. Now, from what I understand, Suge claimed that your mother told his mother that you were abused as a child.
I'm the first one to tell people how my father treated me. My mama was a gangster. Everybody in the hood know. My mama don't talk like that. And Maxine never left her house. My mama didn't leave her house to walk to Maxine's house to do anything. So, no, Suge said I was molested.
Yeah.
He got me fucked up. If I was molested, whoever molested me wouldn't be alive. And moms would have took care of that. So, you know, like I said, you know, he don't do nothing but throw stupid shit in the mix. Keep it 100. Suge, tell me a gang story. Tell me a time you hung on Stockton Pine, Esmeralda, at Ludus Park. He can't do that. You know, and I'm tired of telling people, Suge wasn't no thug nigga. He wasn't no gangster, but he's sitting in jail making it seem like he was this, that, and the other. And everybody you speak on had to be dirty, stinky, breath stink, or this, that, and the other.
Look, me and Suge actually spoke on the phone for the first time
Is that
ever.
right?
Yeah. Reggie was part of that, you know, part of that three-way. His lawyer was as well. And it was interesting because for a long time I said I don't want to have anything to do with Suge. But then I'm like, well, this guy's doing 28 years. What's the harm at this point? So, you know, we spoke for the first time. Suge was being Suge. he made a comment like, I've heard some things you said about me. I know you wouldn't have said them if we were standing in front of each other, but that's, water under the bridge. That's the past. So I'm like, okay, Suge is being Suge on the phone. That's cool. It is what it is. And I realize that sometimes you kind of, Suge like goes off on these tangents. So sometimes you have to like interrupt and kind of, okay, no, that's not what happened. This is not that,
Right.
let's just keep it to what it is. We were supposed to do an interview. I didn't follow up. I think he's mad at me over me not following up, but I think eventually it will happen. I just got to figure out when we do talk, I know a lot of people are going to be waiting for it.
Right.
So I got to prepare for it. But Keefe D had a fight in jail and he was actually found guilty of the fight.
Yeah.
So he was found guilty on 2 counts of battery by a prisoner and challenges to fights.
He challenged the other inmate to a fight. And the fight happened. It's an automatic assault on both parties. Should be. Vegas jailhouses are different from California. I know if we was in California and we done had fights in the county jail many times, and we go straight to the hole. I don't know what that is. He looking at or can get 20 years. There was no knife. It was a fight. This is what Reggie telling me.
Wait, is Keefe actually facing jail time over this fight?
Yeah, well, he in jail. And he
Right.
gonna be fighting this case for a minute, so it eats up whatever they gonna get him. So I never heard of you have to go to court
Yeah.
and you convicted by, was it 12 people, a jury?
Why even bother?
Why
Yeah.
even go through that?
Right.
Put him in the hole, give him 30 days in the hole and let it be. Keep it deep. He gonna have many more fights, trust me, in Las Vegas. Las Vegas love Tupac, and he ain't telling it, but he's been pressed several times in the county jail, in that jail cell over there by inmates.
Over Tupac.
Yeah. I said this on the interview a long time ago. He gonna have problems in there.
Yeah, man. I think at 61 years old, he's in the worst possible situation he could be in. To be that age, facing basically the rest of your life in prison.
Yeah.
Unless they just say, forget the case, do a time served. But I just don't see that happening.
No, that ain't gonna happen. For one, Keefe D made Metro look bad. All this talking, all these interviews, all this other shit. And he was warned by his peers, different Crips from different neighborhoods, telling him to shut the fuck up. The money, the little money that he was making was good for him. And he was cool, so he kept doing it because he wasn't doing nothing else. So he kept doing these interviews. Now he's in a situation. Now you facing life. That means no more sex, no hugging the grandkids and kissing them goodnight. I thought about everything that they going through. And this is why I don't want to touch people no more. I'm not doing nothing to nobody. Let me stay at home and raise mine. At some point you learn. You gotta learn. You got to.
Well, Charleston White, who you had an altercation with a while back, a video circulated of him taking the stand at 16 over a murder he was involved with, where he's actually testifying against 3 of his own friends in exchange for a 12-year sentence.
Right.
So the telling is nothing new. He's been doing it most of his life.
Well, and it's cold because Charleston White is what, 15, 16 years old at the time.
16.
He's scared as fuck. And everybody that's on the street that carry a gun or whatever at that age, even me, were afraid of certain shit. Me, it had to be my pops. Until I started carrying guns. I ain't afraid no more. But when you going through that juvenile hall, Los Padrinos and all this other shit at a young age, you nervous. And Charleston White was scared. These people come at you, they got it already figured out. You finna do life in prison. At 16, you'll never see your family again. He's scared. I ain't saying it's right what he did, because his homeboys got time. But he did time, and he's a kid. He's scared.
Yeah, and he stood on it. He goes, "Yeah, I took the stand.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. I'm still telling on people."
You know, these dudes on social media, and for any guy that sit here and say he banged for 40 years and never had a fight or never been to prison, he ain't never did no gang violence. We all been through this shit. And we all get nervous. You got a Huggy Bear in every motherfucking neighborhood. These dudes need to stop. These cats are winning every fight they ever had with 5 and 10 niggas at one time that jumped him. Come on, man. There ain't no super gangsters out here. And Charleston White, regular dude, regular kid.
Well, yeah, Steven Jackson actually ran into Charleston White recently and confronted him. I guess Charleston White had mentioned some things about George Floyd because Steven Jackson and George Floyd were close.
Right.
And I guess he had mentioned that George Floyd had pulled out a gun on a pregnant woman. And Steven Jackson said, yes, that case did happen, but George Floyd was taking the case for someone else. But there was a confrontation with Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson doesn't like me either, last I checked. So me and him had a back and forth over DMs. And I said, listen, you can pull up to my studio anytime.
Right.
Come on through.
So did him and Charleston fight?
No, I don't think so. I think it was an argument.
Charleston White is a lucky dude. Very lucky dude. But Charleston White...
Charleston's going to press charges, though. If you punch him, he's going to press charges. He's going to file a lawsuit.
When I was in Texas, that's all I thought about. And I had guns, and I could have not made it out of Texas.
And what would that accomplish?
Huh?
What would that accomplish? Someone else would be raising your grandson?
Nothing, because he's a little bitty dude, and I was at the point where I was ready to just grab him by his throat and do him wrong. But I wouldn't have gained nothing from it. And he kept saying, see, I told you was Mob James. Boy, just say you want it. And it would have all went bad for him and me trying to get home.
Yeah. Yeah, look, he's still Charleston White. I pretty much leave him alone at this point. I just don't see a point in it, because when I say something, he responds with something outrageous and ridiculous. And, I don't watch it. I keep it moving. I understand that he does what he does, and he got to where he is by doing that.
Let me ask you this. Can you be mad at Charleston White? Because Charleston White is doing what everybody else is doing. Everybody want to hear negativity. Don't nobody want to hear real good shit. You know what I'm saying? So Charleston White creates this bullshit where everything is fucked up, or this person that. He hears something and he run with it. He do his homework. Charleston White is just like another regular motherfucker. All money is good money. And one day he gonna find out that it's not.
Well, he's had a lot of altercations. Remember, he pepper sprayed Soulja Boy. He got jumped on stage, I think, in Texas. He got beat up at the barbershop.
I think some of them is little cliques, little shit they be doing. Like the loose cannon guy. They on the phone talking about him and Brick Baby had a fight in jail. Y'all niggas ain't fighting in the feds. Just see a nigga and then take off. You ain't doing that. So they lying. They want to keep the little clout shit or whatever they call going. And this is where Charleston White at. He got to create something for it to be that.
Okay, well, the YSL RICO case is done. The YFN RICO case is done. But now, and I've been hearing this for a while, that Lil Baby's 4PF is the next target of RICO. And there's an audio that they played in court of a man. This was, from what I understand, these are like the ops talking amongst each other, saying that Unc, not saying who Unc is, but Unc is putting tickets on people's heads. And they're trying to say that's Lil Baby. Lil Baby's like 30. So I don't... Unk seems like the wrong phrase to even describe him. And this is not even him saying it. It's not anyone around him saying it. And it caused a whole bunch of nonsense where Young Thug chimed in and posted a picture of one of the investigators, and then they try to violate his probation and blah, 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 and all this crazy stuff happens. What's your take on this?
But number one, everything on social media, the police are sitting at a desk watching it. They only need this much, just a little bit, to go after certain individuals. These cats got money and don't know what to do. Now, do I believe that he put this ban and that ban on certain individuals? I don't know. But like I said, Lil Baby needs to sit down, mind his business, and cut that click shit out, because he's going to be next. He's going to get caught up. He better watch his phone. And they running around this motherfucker reckless. They reckless. So if he get caught up, would I be surprised that he in jail? No. No.
Yeah, I mean, because this whole thing started with Lil Baby shooting a music video in his enemy's hood.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, really?
Do you go after those cats, but do you allow those people to walk up on your set and say, y'all can't film here unless we get paid? Man, go on about your business.
Right. So from what I understand, that set off a back and forth, and I think 2 kids died in the process, and that basically set off the investigation to where we are right now. Once kids start getting killed, then everyone stops what they're doing and starts to get serious about the situation.
And the police come in, they arrest 2 motherfuckers. These 2 motherfuckers use Baby name because it sounds good. Just like a Keefe D saying Mob James Buntry, Reggie and them was doing drugs. You're going to tell the police what they want to hear. You're going to tell them what they want to hear. So you get out of jail, now they own me. Because this is the information we got. They got to check up on the shit. You know what I'm saying? And here he is. Vlad, if you paid attention to all of these cats with money are getting RICOs, going to jail for all of these crimes. R. Kelly, P. Diddy, Suge Knight, the list go on and on. Mo 3, all these people are dying and all these people are going to jail. Man, what you think this shit is? Everybody is talking about the murders they commit and the rapes, all this other bullshit. This shit ain't over. It's gonna keep going. After Lil Baby, it's gonna be somebody else next. So I'm not surprised by none of this shit. I'm not surprised at all.
When you were at death row, did you see Ray J around?
I seen Ray J at Buntry's funeral.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay. Because I had Ray J on my show. He was, said that he was younger. He was hanging around death row. People were calling him Little Simon.
I ain't never heard that. But like I said, Suge could tell you, I didn't fuck with Suge no more after a lot of things started happening. So Ray J and them did a song for my brother when he passed.
Really?
Yeah. And then they played that song, and I seen him at the funeral. And other than that, I didn't fuck with none of them kids.
Why did Ray J write a song for Buntry? Were they close?
Because he was fucking with Buntry.
Oh, so Buntry and Ray J were
cool.
close.
Crooked Eye and all them was cool. Buntry hung with them.
Ah, okay.
Buntry kicked it in the studio with them. And they liked it, Buntry. Booyah Tribe, all of them, they was cool.
Booyah Tribe was around?
Yeah, they did the song too.
Oh, and, so it was Ray J and Booyah Tribe for Buntry.
And Crooked Eye.
And Crooked Eye.
Yeah. They did a song for Buntry. What's up, young man?
What's going on with you, OG? You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I was just telling him about that hell of a song y'all did for Buntry.
Yeah, man. A lot of people don't know, but Buntry helped me. He helped me navigate my way through my time at Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he gave me a lot of solid advice on how to deal with Suge, how to deal with the business. You know what I'm saying? And it was very helpful to me in many ways. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's much love. That's the least I could do. You feel me?
Right, but I ain't talked to you and was able to tell you, man, I appreciated that song. I listened to it all the time, you know, especially on his birthday. And man, I really appreciate the love you gave me.
That's what's up, man.
It's a 100.
That's what's up. All right, well, I ain't gonna hold you. OG.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Here you go, Black.
Yeah.
All right, man. You take care.
No, but that was cool, man. That kind of showed how important Buntry was to
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Well, you know, a lot of guys came that was out of prison, came and looked out for moms, and a lot of those guys gave her money. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't need the money. He was respected. And I love the fact when they did that song, man, I was in my car every day with a gun on my lap crying like a motherfucker on one, you know, and that's my favorite song today.
Do you got that song? You send it to me?
Yeah, it should be on my phone.
Okay, send me a copy of the song. We'll play a little clip of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah. And other than that about Ray J, no, I never dealt with him. I heard he was a Paru. Then it's like, damn, when this happened?
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of those guys, Lil Wayne, how the fuck is he a my Paru? You know what I'm saying?
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown from Pro Town.
Well, he is now, but, you know, he's from Virginia, I think.
Yeah, he's somewhere. I mean, a lot of the guys that say they like street niggas, they come from Texas, Mississippi, shit like that. At 7, 8 years old. That don't make them not be who they are.
Chris Brown became a Pyru blood at like 22.
And you got some cats that went to jail one time and come home gangster.
No, listen, it is what it is. Wack100 said that he accepts him for that. In fact, Chris Brown did a whole thing asking people not to wear red bandanas at his shows. So they wear brown bandanas.
Well, at some point, grow up. Why you want to be a gangbanger at 60?
Yeah. The Yellow Beezy Mo 3 situation is happening right now. You following it?
Not really. It's all the same thing, though. Same controversy. Everybody hating each other. Everybody got to kill each other.
Yeah. Yellow Beezy is being charged with capital murder, which means death penalty. It's a murder for hire. The case seems kind of flimsy, to be honest. When I read through it, it seems like he pulled $40,000 out of his bank account. That could be for anything. People pull out money like that constantly.
But the way that people are looking at it, the way the jury gonna look at it, it all depends on the jury and how they present their case. It ain't gonna, long as it ain't a case like Lil Woody, a circus act, just laughs, he in trouble. He in trouble. But don't get money and think you gotta be a street nigga. You don't have to be a street nigga. Ain't nothing wrong with leaving the hood. And these dudes can't leave the gangster shit over here. And like I said earlier, if you ain't learned from Suge Knight's mistakes, they gonna keep falling. They gonna keep falling.
Yeah, it's sad because I've interviewed both of them. I interviewed Yellow Beezy multiple times. I interviewed Mo 3 once. They're both talented. They both had fan bases. They're both making legal money. They both didn't want to leave Dallas. They both wanted to show who's the toughest. And they used to be cool at one point. There's photos of them together back in the day when they were younger. I tried to get them to work it out in my interviews. It didn't work. I just, I understand that people pass and you have this kind of feeling like you feel like you can't really let certain things go, but I don't know. Like recently, I've been hearing people say stuff about like my dad who passed away didn't really bother me that much. Gene Deal's mad at me right now because of the comments I made when I was on Cameron's podcast. So him and this other guy did this whole thing that, you know, they claim my mother was a KGB spy who infiltrated the Navy. And their proof is, I guess, my mom had written a book that she just put out herself on Amazon about her life. So I guess they'd gotten a copy of the book. And their proof is, on the same year that we all moved to America, a couple of KGB agents got busted. So clearly there's a connection between my mother and these two random people.
And it's sad, Vlad. It's sad that, you know, these guys bringing family into this podcast shit.
Yeah.
My kids, my grandkids has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Your
but
family don't.
I get it, but, you know, for the first time this is happening, and I'm looking at it going like, whatever. Like it's not enough for me to go and want to hurt somebody,
right?
Or want to do something serious or seriously get mad and retaliate somehow. It's like, all right, I said what I said, which I felt was accurate. That not all of Gene Deal's stories match up.
Right.
So I mean, he was really there when Biggie got shot, and that's the part that I really was interested in, but some of the other stuff doesn't match up because the people that were there say that it doesn't match up.
Me and Gene had our little disagreements, but talking on the phone, listening to him, he listening to me, we became cool. I haven't called him in a while. They doing too much on the podcast. A lot of shit he say is on point. Outside of how Tupac was shot, how Biggie was shot. You know what I'm saying? If you're that close to a situation, then you should have done something.
Look, I get it. Like, if you're someone like a Gene Deal who really does have some stories that are important, and you tell them and you tell them again and you tell them again, at a certain point, most people have heard the stories, but you still have to make money. And you still have to figure out a way to keep the content going, so you start making up some stories and you start embellishing. Suddenly you're everywhere where Biggie was, you were right there. When he was signing his record deal, you were right there. When he was, you know, spilling his innermost secrets, it's to you. You were on the private jet with him. Like, you know, he was a probation officer. So there's only a certain amount of time that you could be around. I think... Was it him that said that, like, oh, well, it was Diddy's kids who was really doing the freak-offs? And someone pointed out that at the time that Gene stopped working with Diddy, his kids were like 6 years old. So what type of freak-off parties are you putting together at age 6?
All of them are doing it, though. And that's the craziest shit. Half of these people are talking, weren't even here 28 years ago. They only 33. So you had no interest in none of this shit. And like some of these individuals out here calling themselves OGs and they only 43, 47 years old. Come on, stop. The time don't match up. It don't match up with half of the stories these guys out here telling.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, all I say is that we are in a rude awakening if we don't get our shit together on these podcasts. And everybody is freely to speak on the bullshit, but they don't understand. There's ears out there. And ain't nowhere in the world I get on there and talk about what nigga I killed. I just saw an interview with Brick Baby, him and Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby lift his arm up. He's showing he got a gun. What kind of stupid shit is that? You know, these dudes is crazy.
Yeah, look, Brick Baby was my newest regular guest. We had done like 3 or 4 interviews. My audience liked him. We had a good rapport. I ran into him 3 days before he got arrested at the Beverly Center, just randomly.
What you think now?
What do you mean?
About Brick Baby.
I feel bad. You know, it's like you meet up with someone that you know, and they're in great spirits. They got people with them. They're laughing. We hug it out. We chop it up for a minute. Life is good. Oh yeah, we gotta do another interview. Yeah, we're gonna schedule it.
Right.
It's like you think about that moment and you think he has no idea that in 3 days
He'll be gone.
everything is gonna change. That soft bed, his woman, his kids, his home, his car, his food, all that is about to be taken away from you.
Right.
You're going to be in a dirty jail cell with a bunch of men trying to figure out how, what the next situation is, whether you're getting out, whether you can make bail, whether you can get tied into this rolling 60s situation, because you are rolling 60.
Right.
Like, that's something that's established. That didn't come out on Vlad TV. He's established this for a long time.
He's in trouble too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping he gets out. I'm hoping Big U gets out. I'm hoping everyone I know gets out. Loose Cannon, I don't know. They try to bring Loose Cannon to me on a few occasions, and I said, no, I'm good. This guy's a lunatic.
Well, they putting themselves in there. The position they in now, the predicament they in, they put themselves there.
Did you see the no jumper brawl?
With in the alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, I've never seen anyone get stripped before. That was the first time I've seen that on camera. I've never seen it in real life. Hey, listen, I'm glad I've never seen it in real life.
I used to do that shit like a motherfucker.
You used to do it.
Yeah, I used to make motherfuckers take all that shit off and run down the street.
Okay. Would you actually take it off, or would you make them take it off?
No, take that shit off.
Okay.
I did it a couple times.
So they would take off all their clothes.
In an altercation, well, I had this one guy, one of the homeboys' uncle, looking for Mob James, right? And this is a crazy story. So he looking for me because I called his sister a bitch. So he come in the little spot we in, and he tell the big homies, I'm looking for Mob James. I'm sitting right here at the table. And he just, I gotta holler at this little nigga and woo, woo, woo. So I like, what you gonna do to Mob James? And he was like, I gotta tell this little nigga, he called my sister a bitch, woo, woo. And I'm like, what you gonna do? He said, no, I'm gonna holler at him. It all depends on him. Woo, woo. So I'm like, okay. And the homeboy 10 grand, and Fred saw me grab my little 38 I had. I clicked it back and said it right there. I said, I'm Mob James, what you gonna do? And that nigga, oh, no, it ain't that type of party. No, it is that type of party. I did just like this, take that shit off. Nigga, you lift your nuts up, nigga. And I made him strip.
Okay, so what did he have on him?
He had on pants, shirt, socks, shoes, T-shirt, hat. I took everything.
Okay, so nothing of value.
No, I didn't want nothing of value. I just wanted him to take his clothes off. I wanted him to know who you fucking with.
Okay, did he have a gun on him?
No. If he'd had a gun on him, I'd have shot him.
But even if he raised his shirt up and said,
If he'd had a gun on him, I'd have shot him. I'm not gonna sit here and wait or blink and he shoot me.
Okay, so you strip him naked.
I take all his clothes.
Underwear too?
Everything. I made him lift his shit up. True story, man. Ask the homeboys. And he lifted up his shit, turn around, nigga. And he turned around, walk out the door. If you look back, I'm gonna shoot you in your ass.
This happened in the house?
Inside the house, yeah.
Okay.
That's one time.
Hold on. Why would? Okay, was he a Bob Pyru?
No.
What was he?
He's one of the homeboys' uncle.
Okay, so he's not actually a gang
No,
member.
we've been knowing who he was.
Okay, got it.
That he kin to.
Why would he walk into a home with a hostile
He
intent?
don't know I was. He didn't even know who I was. Like I said, he know all the homeboys. They grew up in the hood.
Okay, so he thought he was safe because he knows everybody.
For him to walk in there and ask for Mob James, yeah, he damn sure did.
Okay, and he found out it wasn't safe.
He found out he wasn't safe.
Okay, so you made him walk out of the house butt naked.
Butt naked.
Did you ever see him again?
One time.
How did that go?
Then he just looked the other way and kept going. I stood right there and looked at him.
He's probably terrified. He didn't want to get stripped again.
No, I wasn't gonna strip him again. If he'd have said something to me, I'm telling you, back in the days, motherfuckers had problems. And if he would have said something to me, he'd have just got popped on.
Okay, that's one time.
Yeah.
Second time?
Second time, kicking it on Pine Street, big old cat come up, he trying to buy some rocks. So one of my people was serving him, and he just went and said the wrong thing. Yeah, cuz, nigga, can I get a bigger one, cuz?
Saying
What?
cuz.
Nigga, how much you got? What you got on you, nigga? And went in his pockets, take that shit off. Made him take his clothes off right there. Big old swole nigga. Made him run up Pine. Fuck out of here.
In retrospect, do you feel like that's unnecessary?
Not at that time, it was.
Because you just can't say cuz.
Well,
At
you
that
and
moment.
we gang banging to the fullest, and then it's like you got caught slipping. You couldn't hold back, and he just said cuz.
Because he was a Crip?
Yeah, he was a Crip. And that's the only way I knew, because he said cuz. So I took all his clothes.
Right, but he wasn't set tripping on you. He wasn't disrespecting
and that's why
you.
I didn't shoot him.
Okay.
You laughing, but
Did you ever see this guy again?
No,
That was it.
no.
Okay. So when you saw the no jumper brawl, it was like, oh, okay,
Normal shit.
normal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. And I guess the guy got a concussion and so forth. He was in a coma, they say,
Right,
and
right.
a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, I remember Freeway Ricky hit me up. It's like, oh, Loose Cannon wants to talk to you. I said, no, I'm good, respectfully, Rick. You and I are 100, but I don't need to have that conversation because I don't think anything positive is going to come from that conversation. Because, Loose Cannon also said that him and Big U were there when PNB Rock got killed. Like, really?
Why you doing that? He putting himself in a murder.
Yeah.
He telling people that he asked the boy for the jury and you can come get it back. He's telling people that he melting the shit, the jury down, and if it took this amount of money, we was gonna give him 40 grand. Boy, why are you talking like that? And they need to stop talking like that. But here's the thing. You got guys, everybody ain't gangster. The majority of want to be gangsters. And they don't know the consequences of. This is why he speak reckless and other people do too. Everybody didn't grow up with a name or respected. You damn sure ain't gonna be respected through this goddamn camera shit. Cause you're telling all your business. And he's talking the way he's talking, and it's like, I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? But then he telling everybody, yeah, sweetheart, I'm gangster, I'm this. When I heard him say Big U called him about Nipsey. Come on, dude, you don't talk like that. I don't know what you call him, but the way these dudes doing it, ain't no discipline, ain't none of that shit. Man, that shit would have happened back in the days. Buster Week would have been for real for me. I'd have been on everybody's ass.
So, Lil Durk just dropped his album. Good album. But
It's telling everything.
I mean, there was a part in there. Right, there's a song on there on Durk's album called Monitoring Me. And it said, I don't even got to pay a N-word to do nothing. I got killers, all my friends. Now, I remember I was on Academic Show and I mentioned this. He goes, oh, that song was released before he got locked up. So I guess he felt like, well, it's already out there. Might as well throw it on there. But
It don't matter.
you are in jail specifically over what you're saying in that line. That you have friends who are killers and you don't got to pay anybody. And you're accused of a murder for hire that your friends committed.
And he can get convicted for that.
Yeah, it's a mess. And I feel like, people are saying, well, this Lil Durk album isn't as good as the others because he's not really talking that shit and he's not really calling out his ops and he's not like mentioning real life situations, sort of. And you see this, man, like, I just interviewed this guy, Bloodhound Q50. There was two guys. It was him and his cousin, Bloodhound Lil Jeff. And they're saying how this guy, Lil Jeff, was like the new King Von, that he was killing all these people and talking about it in his songs. Now, ultimately, Lil Jeff gets killed at like 19 years old. So you don't really know what happened. But this was an example of like, that's what made the music so intriguing, because you're hearing all these little lines and references that are connected to actual murders. And, you know, these guys are saying how many murders they got. Oh, I got 8, I got 9 now. Oh, now I got 10. And it's like, oh, I got 9 hats. And people are saying the hats refer to murders and that type of thing. And it's interesting how, listen, you've always had realism in hip hop, right? NWA came out and it was like, wow, like, what is this?
Right.
Fuck the police and songs like that. You've never really heard anything like that before. You've had gangster rap, but you've never had it quite on that level. But now you got these artists that they get to where they are because they're really talking about crimes in their music.
Yeah.
Serious crimes at that.
Right.
You've never seen that before.
Well, these days are different. Everybody today is out there trying to prove a point, and they're putting it in their music, and this is what's killing them. They putting it in their music. They putting the beep out there. So what the next person gonna do? We got to get them. Those that are not cut like that and got the money is gonna pay somebody else to do it. At the end of the day, you lose on both sides, Vlad. Everybody is losing. You know, some good cats, some good with talent is gone.
I mean, when you look at the Death Row catalog, the ones, you know, the songs that you're familiar with, are they actually talking about any specific assaults or murders or shootings or whatever in the music? Or has everyone always been like, okay, this is all just gonna be general? Because I never got the impression that it was just general gangster talk.
That's all it was, though.
Right.
It wasn't, yeah, I'm gonna kill your mama and go to the store and have a drink. No, Tupac damn sure didn't rap like that.
No.
Snoop didn't rap like that.
No, I mean, look, for example, Snoop beat a murder case.
Right.
You know damn well a rapper today would have done a song all about that case.
Already.
As soon as he heard that not guilty, oh, let me go do this. You know, let me go do my first day out freestyle where I talk about everything I just got convicted for.
He was so humble after that, too.
Yeah, it seemed like Snoop went the opposite direction. He got more like calm after that.
He had to. It scared the shit out of him. But I remember this like yesterday. I told Reggie I wasn't going to even say nothing. But since Suge been speaking on shit, right after his trial, he got the note, not guilty. We had this big old thing afterwards, and some of the jurors came to the party.
I heard about this, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I heard about it, yeah.
Did Suge tell you that?
No.
Okay, because he ain't going to say shit. But the juror got up, rapped pretty good, too, and was rapping about the whole case. What he didn't believe, what he believed, and why he said not guilty.
Wait, the juror rapped about the case?
While we was eating steak and lobster.
Like a rap song?
Crab. Yeah.
Damn!
The juror.
Okay, I never heard this before.
And there was a few of them there. You know what I'm saying?
Huh.
Top that one, Suge. But he need to stop talking shit if he ain't gonna talk about what he talking about. I hate that he putting Snoop out there like Snoop is this.
Yeah, Suge was saying that Snoop was responsible for Tupac's murder.
Not at all.
Snoop wasn't even there.
You know what? What Suge need to do is be honest. Suge was responsible. If you look at the video inside of the MGM, all Suge had to do was get Tupac and go about his business.
That's it.
Everything, all the gang members that was there should have handled that. And that's why I tell my brother and them they were wrong. How the fuck y'all let Tupac go and do this?
What did your brother say?
He did it on his own.
No,
he didn't do it on his own. Tupac never seen no Compton gangbanger. Tupac did not know who Orlando was. He didn't know him.
But Buntry joined in.
Buntry joined in the fight.
Was Buntry in the white silk suit?
Buntry had on the all white with the black brim.
Now, Buntry could have pulled Tupac off.
No.
Yes.
At that point, it was
Yes.
too late.
He could have. He
At
could
that-
have.
Now, he could have said, made him move, which I heard one of the homeboys got him out the way, and they did what they did, but Tupac didn't know what Orlando looked like. So he couldn't have just went and took off.
Right. Well, Trayvon Lane told him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's who should have got disciplined.
Trayvon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A man lost his life that night.
I understand that because of the chain reaction that happened. But like, for example, right, if me and you are out together, right, and I see someone who I have a problem with, I'm going to tell you, hey, listen, over there, that's a dude who jumped me or I had a problem with, be on point. Like, for example, like when I'm out with my security, I tell my security that, hey, we potentially have a problem here. Like, just be on point.
I done had my mother and my girl in the midst of motherfuckers trying to get at me and holler at me. Mama, y'all go over here, go get in the car, move, get out of the way. I have never went, oh, that's the motherfucker that's trying to get me with my mama. It ain't nobody else's business. It wasn't Tupac business to get in that business. He's the artist. We the gangbangers.
Right, but did Trayvon actually tell Tupac, or was he talking to someone else and Tupac overheard?
It was him and
See, me and Trayvon, I know Trayvon. We've been talking for years about doing this interview. I don't know if it'll ever happen. We didn't really get into the nuts and bolts of it, but I feel like Trayvon didn't really do anything wrong.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
And I say you're wrong, because if he wouldn't have said nothing to Tupac and stood on all 10 like he say, he should have went over there and got Ed Orlando.
Oh, you say Trayvon could have just went by himself.
He could have went over there and everything else would have followed. Mind you, Orlando tried to take your chain in the mall. So it's already on. It's supposed to be on site. We gangbangers. So don't tell Tupac, he ain't from Compton. And everybody don't understand that. And all I'm saying is Tupac will still be here today. Probably he wouldn't have died that night. This some gangbanging shit. He ain't gangbanging. As far as I understood, you ain't no blood. You ain't no Paru. Tupac set his ass down. Trayvon should have been man enough to get the fuck up and go over there and take off on that man. He took off on you. But you being the pussy you is, you went to Tupac. Because if he'd have went to Buntry, Neckbone, or anybody else, you know what they would have told him? Handle your business. That pussy wouldn't have did it. So it's his fault, and it's our fault that he didn't get checked for doing what he was supposed to do. Period.
What did you think about the whole altercation that happened in front of the Marathon Burger between Black Sam and Rockstar?
I think by being a brother and losing your brother, I think Black Sam was in his feelings a little bit. And Sam said, motherfucker, you on these podcasts is talking whoop whoop or fucking with motherfuckers don't like my brother. Why are you here? Type of shit. Nothing but respect.
Right. This is a public restaurant.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
And listen, someone most people know in hip hop came to my house that night, because we were watching the fight and we were talking about this. It was a private conversation. I'm not going to say it's who, but the first thing he said was, this reminded me of what happened in Nipsey. This whole, you can't come around here, I'm going to publicly embarrass you in front of a bunch of people because I feel like I'm untouchable right now. And you set off a chain reaction that you can't control sometimes. I personally don't like what Black Sam did. I don't like it.
You can't, if you're not in his shoes, Vlad, if you ain't lost your brother in the streets, like really being in the streets, it's totally different. The dynamics is different. You got people that live that life. You got people that feel a certain kind of way when a certain homie get killed. But we talking about my brother. Now, I hate everybody that was afraid to handle their business when my brother was killed. What did I do? I got a motherfucking AK in my hand and I'm kicking niggas in their ass, telling them to get the fuck out of here. That's all Black Sam is saying. If, nigga, you ain't rocking for real, don't bring that phony shit over here.
I know someone from the Outlaws, and they said when Tupac died, Afeni got everyone together and said, listen, Tupac's gone. A lot of people are going to have a lot to say. Some of it negative. I don't want any of you to keep fighting his battles for him. Let it go. You're going to drive yourself crazy. You guys are going to get yourself caught up. You're going to get arrested and so forth. And that's essentially has been most, when you see the way they've handled things,
They
that's the way
listen
they've
to
handled
his
it.
mama.
They listen to his mom.
I get that. Why you think ain't nothing happened to Suge? Everybody and their mama tell you when I went to the office and got up and parked, Suge had a problem that night.
What do you mean?
He had a problem. I was finna do something bad to him.
Which night?
The night when Buncher got killed, a couple of weeks later, I went up to the office because now I'm hearing my little brother. So, okay, I'm gonna put a stop to this. And I went up there to get at Suge. He didn't want me to come through the gate. We got through the gate. I get him, I pull him to the side, and I said, what's this? You talking about my little brother next? And my homeboy was right there that I rode up there with, and I said something to Suge, and he said something to me. I turned my head, boom, Suge was gone, right? So when I'm standing there, certain artists and all that was here, but the little homie Hen Dog came and said, you can't do that right here. You can't be like that. Hen Dog came and told me I couldn't do that, what I wanted to do right then and there. And the next thing I knew, Suge was in the car. The gate was barely opening. He got through that motherfucker. But what I'm saying, it's all over said and done, but I felt a certain kind of way about that guy. And my mother said, leave him alone. He's gonna deal with this. Let God handle that. And I never went after Suge again. You know what I'm saying? And then the only beef I got with Suge right now is how he did my nephew. He promised Buncher he was gonna take care of Lil Outs. And Buncher wouldn't even go in 2 months. He stopped paying on Lil Buncher's truck. They repoed it. My sister and them had to go through the credit union to get to pay the car off, the truck off, and Suge wouldn't say shit. He avoided my mom's and all them. So I'm looking for Suge. I was mad at this point. Damn, you do my nephew? So he didn't give a fuck. So I just went in, and that's all Black Sam is doing. And Black Sam is basically saying, don't come around me half 100. Don't come around here. You kicking it with this dude, that dude, and the other, speaking on my brother, don't come around here. I can't be mad at him.
Yeah, but Nipsey has passed. He had a certain, I understand there's a certain symbolism behind Nipsey, but ultimately, you're now running a commercial business on a major street on Melrose. Imagine if this guy, based on the embarrassment that he's feeling at that moment, came back and shot up the Marathon Burger.
Those are the consequences they're getting at somebody.
And so then what's going to happen next? Marathon Burger shut down. Lease revoked. We don't want this on our street. The end. It could have all been a grand opening and grand closing right then and there, because you're upset over someone. And from what I understand, this guy Rockstar didn't even bash Nipsey. He, I guess maybe Wack was saying something and he was there or something. Right. But it's like, listen, man, like, everyone's not going to be riding for your brother the way you're going to be riding. It's your brother. And that's true. I get it. Listen, I've had conversations with Wack about Nipsey to the point where I don't feel comfortable going to the Marathon Burger. Right?
Right.
Because I don't know how someone's going to take what I've said. I see clips being taken out of context. They chop them up, and people are like, oh, Vlad is saying Nipsey's this. I've never said that. I've said I've gotten a photo, of Nipsey that I never put out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I kept it to myself. No one, you won't get it from me. The person in the photo, I contact them as well to let them know, hey, listen, I got this photo. You know, you're in this photo with Nipsey. I'm just letting you know. I'm not going to put it out. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
You know, but I'm concerned that I might go in there and someone might be like, oh, yo, that's that Vlad dude. He said this, that, and the third about Nipsey. And then next thing I know, I have an altercation in the Marathon store. Well, so then I'd have to go to the Marathon store with security. And what's the point of that? I'm just trying to get a burger. You know, so I didn't go to the Marathon store when it opened. I could have, but I didn't. I'm not going to really go there, period, because I just don't want to feel like someone's going to take things a certain type of way with me when there's other burger spots.
Well, from what I'm hearing, Black Sam had talked to Rockstar before that grand opening.
Before?
I heard they had a conversation before. Okay. So if you was already feeling the temperature from previous, then why would you go?
Yeah.
You're going to, you know what I'm saying? So thank God they didn't act like some damn fools in front of the cameras and all this other shit. Thank God they didn't do that. And it ended peacefully. But I don't know. I get where Black Sam coming from.
I feel you. Listen, we come from different places. Me and Black Sam don't know each other. But me and Nipsey knew each other. I interviewed him. We'd run into each other. We would say what's up. We would have conversations. We were supposed to do another interview, but someone on his side hated. It is what it is. I wish I'd interviewed him again. I respected him. I thought he had dope music. I thought he was a dope person. Nothing bad to say on any level. I respect Nipsey. But I also understand how I'm also not like a super fan. Right? Where it's just like Nipsey did no wrong. He's perfect. He's like Jesus Christ. And everything he does was brilliant. Like, I'm not that. I have, listen, we're all human. There's negative things that we do. There's positive things. I don't just talk about the positive things. I talk about the negative sometimes. Right. But I don't want to run into someone and be like, well, you said this about him. Like for example, like, real situation. We had done, this was like 10 years ago or 12 years ago, 2013. We had done hundreds of articles about Drake. Praising Drake. Oh, Drake goes platinum again. Oh, Drake, Drake does a feature with this person. Drake wins this award. Whatever. Hundreds of interviews talking about Drake. Most of them are positive. But for example, Charlemagne was on. He said some negative things about Drake. Mm-hmm. I was in New Orleans for All-Star Weekend, and I was on stage, and Drake was on stage with me. I mean, Drake was like DJing. His crew was there. I met one of his guys, Chubbs. We exchanged numbers. And I guess, like, Drake told Chubbs that I was talking shit about him. So Chubbs approached me, was like, yo, man, what's up with that shit you talking about, man, Drake? I'm like, I haven't said anything about Drake. I mean, and I'm thinking like, yo, in fact, I spent my own money hiring writers to write hundreds of articles about him. That probably raised him up to a certain degree. And I'm like, I didn't say anything about him. I'm like, I've had some guests that made comments. Like who? Like Charlemagne, which I'm sure you already know. Was, well, if you put up there, that's on you as well. I said, all right. I called my security over. Security got in the middle. My guy was like a Navy SEAL dude. He was like, what's the problem? Then at that point, Chubbs backed up. But then like other people started to like mob around. Right. And I just said, let's go. We're going to leave. My security wanted to come back and confront him. And I'm like, for what? Right. This is going to turn into a bad situation. But once again, you got someone trying to ride for someone, not really knowing the whole situation, because he just go off what Drake said. Now, if I sat down and said, okay, let me show you how many positive articles I have about your man. Let's just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So you mean to tell me you're here confronting me because someone else said one negative thing about him? Now I'm your enemy, and now you want to go and have a big fucking fist fight, shootout in the middle of this club over this dumb shit? This is why I feel like people overreact.
Well, everybody needs something to act out on. Right. And, that was the dumbest shit right there. But you have it every day. Yeah. We see it on social media. Everybody needs something negative to talk about, to be mad about, to want to fight about. And that's what we get. That's what we get now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All these guys can't go certain places because of things we said. Yeah.
Like, I would love to go to Marathon Burger and spend my money there.
You ought to go.
But I feel that if Black Sam is there or someone else affiliated,
Why you don't reach out to him, Black?
because I don't think it's that serious.
No, but you want to go and spend your money there. Black Sam, I want to come and support you, but I think me and you might have a problem. Black Sam talk to you and assure you that you good. I ain't got no problem with you. You know, you ain't bash Nipsey to where he's gonna feel a certain kind of way. So don't let that mind shit get you in the way of going and pay your respect.
If I had a contact on Black Sam, I would do it, but he's
You
not on
know
social
every
media.
goddamn body, man.
I know you're right. I can
get
make
a
some
line
phone.
on him.
No, you're right. I can make some phone calls.
Yeah, so
no, you're
that's
right.
how you
You're
handle
right.
it.
No, you're right. I guess I feel like at this age, I'm right here to prove how tough I am to anybody.
That's where I'm at.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to prove like, see, Soulja Boy can't come to the hood.
Talking
that
to
video?
a man, talking to a man on the phone, you get a better understanding.
Yeah.
Opposed to going on social media and saying, motherfucker, whoop, whoop. Half of the guys I talk to right now, I done had phone conversations because I tell one of the homeboys, get a line on him, let me holler at him. Let me test where he at right now. And I done talked to Spider Loc on the phone, I done talked to Alex, Charleston White, Melly Mel, everybody that had an issue or have an issue, Wack100, that have an issue, I've talked to on the phone. It ain't that serious.
I agree.
Me
I
and
agree.
Wack don't even know each other. I never seen this guy a day in my life.
You never see Wack100?
But never ever in my life. But I've had phone conversations with him that went bad.
That went bad?
Like man, Wack is different. But I choose not to have any other phone, no interaction whatsoever. I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No harm, no foul. I hope you feel the same way.
Yeah, me and
know,
Wack are cool
yeah.
now. We had our moment, but I feel like Wack evolved over time.
And that would be a good thing.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like he got smarter over time. He understood that acting crazy around certain people is not going to get you anywhere, right? Like, certain people don't get over shit. Like, me and him didn't talk for 10 years. And what we said on camera was we probably each lost $1 million by both of us keeping the stance,
right.
right? There was a lot of opportunities that he could have taken advantage of. With my platform, there's a lot of opportunities with his artists I could take advantage of, but since I didn't rock with him, I didn't want anything to do with the artists. And we all stayed stubborn for that long, for 10 years, until I finally said, okay, enough of this. Let me get on the phone with him.
Word.
And the phone call went great. And now he's a regular guest on the show, and he brings views, and we cool, and he's helped me connect with certain people like Nick Cannon that I was having problems connecting with. And
Right.
at the end of the day, it's all good.
Well, not with me and him. You said some things about my mother
Oh, okay.
in the midst of an argument or disagreement, which I never brung his mother up, his brother up, his father up. You know? No, not my mama.
Yep.
You know? So whenever.
Yep.
Alex Alonso. Talking about when I see you, I'm gonna give you a handshake. Boy, you come near me, I'm gonna break your motherfucking wrist.
Oh, yeah?
I don't care about none of those cats, but I guarantee you my attitude and my temper is gonna be just that if I ever run into them. And I'll go to prison for it. Fuck it. I swear to God on Jesus Christ. I hate them with a passion. I can't hate Wack like that because I never met him.
Yeah.
I don't know him. It ain't nothing personal. It's just yada yada. I wouldn't give a fuck. But what he said about my mother, okay, one day. I ain't looking for Wack, FG, Alex Alonso told him. Spider Loc called me with the little bullshit he was talking about. He got a line on me. And I told Spider Loc, okay, now I'm going to take you off my to-do list. He laughed about it, but I told him I'm serious. So I took him off my list. So all of those guys call and apologize after the fact. I don't be on there talking about why this nigga called me this, that, or the other. You know, I don't have time to play with him. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation to lose my grandson.
Yeah.
And everybody is betting on that. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, that nigga ain't finna come out. That nigga ain't finna lose his grandson. Bullshit. Bullshit. My grandson 9 years old now. He know right from wrong. I got my sister now. So it is what it is. But other than that, you know, they can't take me from where I'm at today. Feel me, Vlad?
Yep.
And they be trying like a motherfucker. But all of them, fuck the conversation. I don't need all that. I don't want to talk about that. I told you the last time, my mother youngest son, talking about he want to give me a hug. Okay. Okay. And he know better. He know Mob James. Don't play with me. They got a problem. If I ever see him.
That's what it is, Mob James, man. Me and you go back
Yeah.
since your first big interview,
Yep.
you know, which
Yeah.
ultimately led you to this path where you're still on right now.
Huh?
Well, eventually that first interview led you to the path
Oh man,
that
he
you're
got
still
me right
on
here.
ever
right
since.
Down today.
Ever since, man. So I
And-
feel happy about that.
Man, I appreciate it, Vlad.
I appreciate you as well.
I want to tell people, because people be talking Vlad full of shit, this, that, and the other. And how you helped me, not only with the podcast shit and all that. I have called Vlad for favors, and Vlad have came through. Never, no, I ain't fucking with you. You have came through.
Yeah.
You have helped me with my grandson. Also, Reggie Wright has helped me when I'm just bad. And I really don't depend on nobody else. I haven't depended on nobody else. And you and Reggie have came through for me. So, man, I appreciate the fact, and I hate when people speak fucked up about Vlad, and I know. I'm getting teary-eyed because I'm serious. From where I came from, Vlad, to where I'm at today, I would have never thought, from you to Greg Caden, a white man helping me, like really, like got my back, I never would have thought that. You know, my destruction is on my own motherfucking people. And this here brought me to a better understanding about people, about life. And I appreciate you for giving me that. So fuck all of those people that speak fucked up about good people. And I appreciate you.
I love that, man.
Appreciate
We're going to end it with that, my man.
All
Until
the
next
time.
time. Peace.